not the same as years and years and years ago when that was like one of those things. You get to millionaire, you're safe. It is the cost of living, the inflation that has happened, obviously continues to happen. It is not the same as it used to be.
All thoughts and opinions shared in this recording belong to the participants. This podcast is meant to inform and educate and should not be seen as solicitation or endorsement for business. The advisors discuss some of our firm's investment processes. These are just a few of the many possible approaches to investing. Individual results may vary depending on your goals, risk tolerance, market conditions, and other personal factors. Please consult a qualified financial professional before implementing any investment strategy.
Hey everyone, welcome to the Market Moment. I'm Lee Mackey, sitting alongside John Martfeld.
Morning.
Mr. Isaac Johnson.
Hello.
How's the weekend, gentlemen?
Fantastic.
Good?
It was all right.
Arkansas didn't lose.
Arkansas didn't lose.
They did not?
Yep. It's a big deal.
Tulsa got whooped by the Memphis Tigers. That wasn't super fun.
No, it didn't look good.
I think, I have no clue how the rest of the season plays out for our beloved Razorbacks, but, as of right now, if the season ended today, we've lost to 3 playoff teams.
That's true.
I mean, Notre Dame, Memphis, and Ole Miss, they would be in the 12-team playoff if it ended today. But I don't know. I was about to say, fortunately or unfortunately, it does not end today.
Does not end today.
Right.
You know what? We are in the throes of football season, but man, the weather just the warm weather just
It won't
keeps
go
hanging
away.
on.
It's not officially football season until the leaves change and I have to wear a jacket.
And they're starting to slightly change. We had a great event last Thursday. Many of our clients were at our 20th, and I said it that night, is it our 20th birthday or 20th anniversary? What is it? Do you know? We celebrated 20 years of Mach 1.
Sounds more like a birthday.
Yeah, more like a birthday.
We celebrated 20 years of Mach 1 and had a great turnout at the Osage House where we celebrated that. And we spent a little time looking backwards, but ended the evening by looking forward and the exciting opportunities that lay before Mach 1. So glad you guys are a part of it.
Yeah.
As always on our podcast, we encourage our listeners and viewers to like, subscribe, comment, do whatever you can to get those algorithms going. But we like our increasing viewership. We like to have fun here.
Yeah.
Sometimes we're serious. Sometimes we like to have a little bit of fun. But we do try to educate our listeners and viewers. So as we've been doing the past few months, we like to start with a question of the day. A question of the day this morning was, can I retire with $1 million?
The answer to most of these is it depends.
Yeah, John and I were talking. I could say yes, and I could say no.
Yeah.
Yep.
But if the question would have been, can I retire with $2 million? I might have said depends, or 3, or 500,000.
I tell people all the time when I'm meeting with them and they're getting close to that retirement age, or maybe it's our first time meeting, and they always ask a question like, how much do I need to retire? And it's like, well, if you can live on $1 a year, $100. Right?
Yeah.
It totally depends on what you need to live your life.
Back in the 80s, 90s, it was a big deal if you got to $1 million.
Sure.
Right. And I will tell you a personal story. I had a client that came to me in about 2007, and they hit $1 million in their 401k, and they were 55, and he had told his wife whenever it was a high stress job, whatever. Whenever he got to $1 million, he would, and this was like, he told her this in the 90s, whatever, 2007, right before the financial crisis. And he took his money out of his 401k and retired at 55. And the greatest thing that happened to him is that we put him in a Rule 72T, not to get into too long-winded here, but it had to be in a conservative investment for 5 years, right in 07, right? So it saved his bacon. And he's still around today. It's 2026, so that's been 20 years ago. Yeah. But it's like you have to learn how to live on that. It's not the same as years and years and years ago when that was like one of those things. You get to millionaire, you're safe. It is the cost of living, the inflation that has happened. Obviously continues to happen. It is not the same as it used to be, and so the point is it's all relative.
Yeah. And to answer this guy's question,
Yeah.
and we will, or this person's question, is it really does depend. Can you? The answer is yes. Do you have a pension? Do you have, are you living on Social Security payments?
Yeah.
Do you have a house payment? Do you have debt?
Income matters, yeah.
Are your expenses
Yeah.
less than your income?
That's
That's
all that
matters.
starting
It
point.
really,
Yeah.
But if there is income,
Yeah.
And I've had clients. I mean, I've had friends that have retired with 250, 300,000.
Absolutely.
If your living expenses
Yeah.
are $2,000 or $3,000 a month, which you kind of think,
Yep.
are you serious? Can you do that?
No, there's plenty of people.
And you've got a couple Social Security payments from a husband and wife. It's very doable.
Absolutely.
were
I
you gonna say?
plugged into an inflation calculator when you said 2007 that $1 million today in 2007 is $641,000.
Isn't that amazing?
Yeah.
It's amazing.
I mean that's the silent
and
killer.
$1 million in 2007, going back to like 1995, when $1 million was the thing you wanted to hit, would have been the same difference, right?
Yeah, I mean it's huge, and like you said, I mean the big things you can't expect are the years 22, 23, 24, when inflation was running rampant.
Yeah.
And those are kind of some outliers if you're on the.
I think now, if there is a number that we tell people, like back when in that time you were saying $1 million, or that person was thinking $1 million. I think now there's a lot of talk around $2 million. $2 million is kind of that magic number. But again, there's so many variables.
There's a lot of variables.
So many variables. I would say we have clients that their income need is $30,000 a month. Well, $1 million, $2 million isn't enough. But we have clients that their income need is $5,000 a month, and they're getting $3,500 from Social Security, so $1 million would be plenty.
Yeah.
But you look at it like this: if you're trying to figure it out there on your own, think of it like it used to be 5%. Now we've kind of gone down to 4% as our number. But if you could take 4% out of $1 million, which is $40,000 a year, right? Plus your other income streams, does that meet your expenses? That's a good way to check to see if it matches you. And that's on any amount of number. Take 100,000, 500,000, whatever. Use that rule of can I live on 4% of this? And then that will last me the rest of my life. In theory, it doesn't mean it will perfectly, but that's a good standard kind of way to think about it.
And to swing back to your point earlier about somebody retiring in 2007, right? Kind of the worst possible time to start relying on your investments.
That is a big part of it.
It brings up sequence of returns matters.
Sure.
Right. And I have a chart here that I may be able to put up or put in the description, but it shows, if you're taking distributions out of your investments and on either side of a 20-year timeline, if you have good years in the beginning, it's going to work out. If you have bad years in the beginning, you run out of money before the end of the 20. And both of the scenarios average, 8 to 10%. So the average is the same, but when it happens matters
Sure it does.
even more.
100%.
And so making sure that your risk is accounted for, that scenario is at least thought of in the process. Maybe do the 4% rule. Maybe you've got buckets. I think we did an entire video on distribution strategies the other day.
Yeah.
It all matters.
There's a lot.
Yeah, and that's why it's relative. It's not like we don't have the specific perfect answer for you. It's just all relative to your plan.
But the answer to that person's question is yes.
And no.
And no. So today what we wanted to do was just hit on, a few different topics that I think are somewhat relevant or at least newsworthy.
Yeah.
Gold, Bitcoin, all hit record highs.
Yeah.
Gold hit 4,000 an ounce for the first time ever.
I think Bitcoin was 128.
Bitcoin's over 125,000.
Yeah.
It's over 125,000.
It's come down a bit, but it got up to 125.
Yeah.
So
now here's my thought on it real quick. Everybody's starting to regard Bitcoin as safe alternative stocks, just like they kind of think gold is safe. I think of like a big gold train going down the tracks, right? Just solid gold train, and it's the fear of missing out train.
Yeah.
The FOMO train of gold. The reason behind all this stuff is that investors are behaving in the way they're worried that government debt in the U.S., Japan, and Europe are too high.
yeah.
Right? And I think that's a valid point. They're way too high. So where do you flee to? You flee to, and you've done this forever, is gold, and now Bitcoin's a new phenomenon. But gold, you flee to gold. 4,000 ounce. So when I got in the industry, it was in 2000 when I started, it was 400 an ounce or 500, less than 500 an ounce. So we're at 4,000 an ounce, what's never been here before. And it's just kind of like Bitcoin to me. I don't really understand it because I can't take a gold coin or a gold bar and go into McDonald's and have them chip off a little bit of it to give me change back.
Silly.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's like, and same with Bitcoin. I can't go into McDonald's. Now, maybe we're getting to that point where we can use some of the Bitcoin crypto in that way. Maybe that's the future. Still, and you know, gold has been around forever. It's the thing it goes back to biblical days, right? I mean, it's been around forever. So I'm assuming that's great, but I think it's more of a fear of missing out, runaway train.
That's a great point because I had a older client here in the last 2 weeks call me up and say, great returns. Should we take the money out and put it in gold and Bitcoin? And I thought, okay, if this 70-something-year-old client is thinking this, have we reached that proverbial bubble?
Yes, exactly.
I don't know.
Yeah, no, there's a great article on a website called Of Dollars and Data that actually Eli showed me a while back.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to get into what it talks about. It talks about the pros and cons of gold. But my favorite chart here is there's a valley between 1980 and 2010 where gold lost money every single year.
Yeah.
30 years.
And so it's like if you want to risk that,
Where
which is funny.
Does it show where it bottomed out at? I'm curious.
Right around 2000.
Yeah.
Oh, no, but what was 2000?
Oh, the dollar amount? It's in percentages. So I can't
so
see
it would have been under 500 because anyway.
And so it's to your point, it has its own risks just like the market does.
Sure it does.
Right? So if you're going to transition everything into what you consider a safer asset, you're just changing it into a different risk.
Yeah.
Right? And I think a lot of this is fueled by most of the time when these tangible, if you want to call it Bitcoin, that assets start to increase, there's a lot of fear going on around the government, which is probably what's another topic of today. Is the government shutdown is kind of fueling a lot of this FOMO and this movement into safer assets.
I mean, gold was the place you'd go to in the event of,
didn't want to have dollars.
Yeah.
And so you think, when could gold go down? I mean, what if the U.S. balanced their budget? What if we were
Which
having
can
a cash absolutely. We don't have to go too far back to when it's happened. When we were running a surplus instead of a deficit. Well, then all of a sudden, the lure of gold isn't quite as strong there. So, anyway, it was a headline. Let's talk about the big headline, and we're not going to talk about the Fed. Isn't that nice? Government shutdown. I think we're on day 6 or 7. So we're officially at the week mark of the government shutdown. And let's just throw out some facts. We're not going to be political here, or at least for the first 2 minutes. For the first 2 minutes, essentially what the Republicans have put forth was a clean bill, a continuing resolution that essentially says we're not wanting to tack anything on. We're not wanting to take anything away. We are just literally wanting to kick the can down the road, 6 weeks, to give Congress time to put together.
Yeah, because they've not had time.
Of course.
Drives me crazy.
Yeah, because because this one came up out of
nowhere.
Exactly,
just out of the blue. Oh, what?
And so what the Republicans have put forth is a clean bill. Now, you may think, well, okay, it's a clean bill, but that's an actual governmental term for we're not trying to slip in anything new, or
just kick it down the road.
We're kicking the can down the road, and for years, these government shutdowns typically don't occur at this point. They typically occur when there is some kind of stalemate, when they're trying to put a new bill together.
Right.
Not at the continuing resolution, the clean bill stage. And so, the Republicans are blaming the Democrats are blaming the Republicans. You're beginning to see some of the primary media outlets are kind of forcing the Democrat leaders' hands, saying, listen, y'all have been the ones this weekend on Meet the Press, Kristen Welker was really laying into Congressman Jeffries and saying, y'all have not done this before. You've been against the government shutdowns at this stage in the game. So the question that we're beginning to get is, what does a shutdown mean for our money? What does it mean for the stock market, for the economy? If it ends here in the next 2 or 3 days, not much. The stock market has pretty much been up since the government shutdown began.
Yep.
Y'all's initial thoughts, I've got a couple points I'm going to make, but
this is the 81st shutdown in the last 30 years.
The longest one occurred the last time we had a
2018.
shutdown, 2018 into 2019, 35 days.
Yeah.
So, 7 days is kind of, on the long end. Typically, a shutdown will last over a weekend, and then.
This is where I'm going to sound cynical, and it is not political at all. This is where I get really upset.
John, cynical?
At our entire government,
Absolutely.
Both parties. It's absolute ridiculous that these knuckleheads can continue to spend to oblivion $37 trillion and climbing every day, and they have no sense of urgency, no sense of trying to get stuff, because it's an unlimited credit card that they can just keep using, and we the people have to pay the daggum price. And it really, really bothers me. And so all these little fights they have between each other about it is so frustrating. I mean, there are so many things we could do to fix this country, and it has nothing to do with left or right. Term limits is like number one. There's so many things they will not do because they do not care. The only thing they care about is their own power, maintaining it, and I'm talking both parties, and they have been corrupt forever. And this is just another line of, I looked at the votes, of course the vote was 52 for and everybody else against, because that's the amount of senators that are Republican versus, it's like, we'll never get anything done.
Yeah.
It's like, I'm so frustrated. Forget what they're trying to put in the bill and all that stuff. Forget what they're trying to do. It's just a matter of this country is filled with people that really don't care about us, we the people, both sides.
Correct. The question is, does it affect us? Well, critical items in the government, no, it does not. Convenient items of the government, it can begin to
air traffic control towers are starting to get.
People are calling in sick. I saw that this morning.
Burbank Tower
national
closed.
parks.
Yeah.
But those required essential people, they're going to continue to work. Now, they may not get paid. October 15th is the next big date, and a lot of people are beginning to think that they're not going to let the next big payroll, especially for the military, go and not let the military get paid. So that's kind of the next big date.
That can't happen, by the way. And that's, again, if that happens and the senators and representatives get paid, what a shame.
Yeah. Now, a couple other things. One, the effects let's say we go another 20 days or so.
Right.
You'll begin to feel it.
Yeah.
The economy will begin to slow down a little bit. But if you look at numbers in the past, and I'll throw the chart up, the effects are disruptive, but they're temporary.
Yeah, they're temporary.
We've seen where I think the 35-day government shutdown, what is that, 7 years ago, shaved off 0.3. It was a very slight decline in the country's GDP. And then you look at the S&P 500. We've seen the last week, S&P 500's gone up, while we've had the shutdown.
Earnings season starts, and that's going to outweigh the shutdown.
Well, yes.
And again, markets look through this noise.
They do.
And they look long term.
Yeah.
Especially in the past, call it 5-6 years that we've had in this country, like, we're kind of conditioned to look past headlines more than ever, I feel like. Until you start to feel them. This is just
we've gotten spoiled, and we've gotten used to this. I'll go back to 2009 to now. COVID was a massive deal, but it only was a 3-month market interruption.
Yeah.
Really. The market just spurned on new
freaked out, and then everybody looked up and was
technology
like, okay, we're
firms,
good.
everything started taking off and taking over the market. We have not really had taking out that little spurt of COVID in the 2022 rate hike environment. this market has been just a free-flowing upside deal. And that's the same thing with gold. Mm-hmm. And I heard somebody say the other day that real estate, and somebody said this to me, well, you can't lose money in real estate. Like real estate's the greatest thing ever. You just can't lose money in real estate. And they're younger. Mm-hmm. They did not live through the 2008 crisis. They were in their diapers in 2008 crisis, right? So to them, yeah, real estate has just done great since, whatever, 2012, whatever. But everything is cyclical. And I think that the scary part about the government shutdown to me I don't even care. I don't care because it makes me mad to even get into it. But history does rhyme. And I think we forget that history does rhyme. Where the history repeats itself, but it rhymes. It may not repeat, but it rhymes. Mm-hmm. And we're in a cycle right now where we think technology stocks will never go down. And I'm starting to hear all these types of things. Real estate will never go down. Gold is never going to go down. And I think that is the cautionary moments in time when you reflect on where are we at, how do we get there? And I think every single client of ours, the risk tolerance that we do, the great risk profile questionnaire we do for our clients, to know their risk tolerance. We have some pointed questions in there about what if this happens, what would you do? And I think those questions are great because the clients haven't been through those types of massive things that we kind of throw at them, and it gets their clearer picture. And I think everybody should know their ability and what they should handle and all that stuff, and realize that this doesn't go on forever. The government shutdown doesn't go on forever. The government shutdown will eventually be behind us, and we'll be moving on. And these knuckleheads will probably
moving on to the next one.
Probably what'll happen. But
the average S&P return in the 3 months post shutdown, 2.5%, 2.6. The average S&P return in the 6 months, 7.5.
Wow.
The S&P 500 is up 33% in the last 6 months,
right,
from the lows. Okay, so I don't have it right in front of me. All the major indices are up for the year.
Oh yeah.
We are now entering Q4. We've got 2 more Fed meetings. We've got a government shutdown. We've got a Christmas season.
Important earnings season.
We've got earnings season that's going to be kicking off here in 2 weeks. We've got tariffs that are still lingering. Where do we end? Let's see. The S&P 500 is. We started today at 6740 on the S&P 500. First podcast of Q4. Where do we finish the year? S&P is at 6740.
Well, I would love to be uber optimistic about it, but I'll be the biggest pessimist here.
Sure.
And I would say I would be really happy if we finished the year around where it's at right now.
Okay.
And this earnings season will tell me a lot more than anything else. If we are continued, because the earnings, think about this, as the earnings have gone up and these tech companies have just rocketed through, the expectations have also gone up through the moon, right? So earnings are harder to meet. The expectations are harder to meet. So I'm a little nervous that this next quarterly reports might show some light on some troubles ahead. And I hope I'm wrong, right?
John,
I hope I'm wrong.
John,
but I'm going to say
I just simply asked you, what do you think is that?
It's just right around where it's at now.
Okay, so
6,700, let's say.
6,700. So we're down.
Yeah, slightly,
okay.
but then yeah.
I lean the same, maybe slightly up, 6,800. I think I think the first sign of turmoil will come Q1 of 26 if we're going to see it. One year post tariffs is what I want to see.
7,000.
Ooh, I like that. I hope that's the case.
That's 5%. That's 5%.
5%
right?
from. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So if that happens, if we're at 7,000 on December 31st on this podcast, I'll kiss you on the cheek, just on the cheek, but I'll give you a nice kiss on the cheek because that would be great if that happens, and I know everybody wants to see that. So
okay,
that's how happy.
You talking about the S&P or the kiss?
Okay. Well, we have officially gone. Oh, gosh, I will not sit in the middle seat. Matt Walters, where are you? Yeah,
I'll get about in my seat.
I don't even know how we bring it back from there.
Good luck.
Razorbacks in Tennessee this weekend. Who you got?
Man, you're gonna make me say it live on air, and I'm a Razorback fan.
Yeah.
I mean, I have to go. My heart, Arkansas. My brain, Tennessee.
Okay.
I've got to go Tennessee also.
You're gonna go the upset. I feel it.
Yeah.
Upset Arkansas.
That'd be great.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. We may lose the next 6 games. But I think
We'll be fired up. New
we'll just
coach.
we'll see if I'm right on either one
Yeah.
of those last predictions.
I'm excited.
And-
I'm excited to see how hard they play.
I know they probably
Yeah.
will play hard. I would guess.
And I think the bar is a little bit low right now.
Mm-hmm.
I do think that's more of what we want to see.
Yeah.
You know, flying to the ball. Those
Because that
Yeah.
Notre Dame game, there was not a lot of effort.
there was some. You hate to use the word giving up, but there was some lack of effort
yeah.
on that.
a fair
part.
word.
So anyway, any closing comments, guys?
No,
I mean, guys, we're in the 4th quarter.
It's flown by.
Of 25.
it has flown by.
I mean,
Could
it's,
you imagine sitting here looking at this in like late March at what's transpired throughout this year?
It's unreal.
It's crazy.
Unreal. Tariffs, Israel doing what they're doing,
The bill,
us bombing, so on. Russia going into NATO territory.
it is
Crazy.
You know, you hear the word resilient thrown around a lot.
Yeah.
But man, this has been a year where nobody would have faulted the S&P and for people to have taken some of their chips and gone home.
yeah.
But the market continues
Yep.
to grind a little bit higher. So we've got our predictions in. We'll mark the tape and we'll fire it back up here in January of 26. But anyway, thank you guys for joining us on this week's podcast. Again, if you're able to, give us a like, subscribe, comment. We enjoy doing these, and we like knowing that there's more listeners and viewers out there. So from John, Isaac, and myself, we hope you have a great, productive week.
The hosts of the Market Moment podcast are employees of Mach 1 Financial Group, LLC. Mach 1 is a registered investment advisor located in Rogers, Arkansas. A copy of Mach 1's current written disclosure brochure is available through the SEC website and available at disclosures.mach1fg.com.